Hello, I'm Mary Beth, and welcome to my podcast. This is episode 25, and today is February 28th, 2021. It is a Sunday, and it's kind of dreary outside. I live in New Jersey in the USA, about 10 minutes away from the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. What else? I want to thank you if you are a new time viewer. If you've been here before, I want to say thank you for coming back, and I hope you enjoy everything I have to show you. I have a couple of new things. I think I have more new things than I'm actually showing you, but for the life of me, I can't think. I started writing everything down. Please like and subscribe if this is what you would like to see. Please leave a comment if you have any questions for me. That's about it, and I'm going to stop saying so much. I've been trying. But next thing on the list, well, first thing on the list, other than telling you who I am, look at that gray hair. Oh, next week I get my hair done. My hair is growing in, growing my bangs in, so it's been a lot of pulling my hair back lately. So I'm going to go over any finished objects I have, and basically the only object I have that's finished, because I've been really busy with look at that messy desk. I sell stuff on eBay. I'm doing resale, as well as some of the yarns that I don't use I put up on my eBay store, and that is Mariposa Butterfly, Mariposa Butterfly, Mariposa Butterfly. The first finished object, I do not have it. I saw my mother yesterday and gave her the gift that she knew was coming because I've tried it on her. It is the Waves of Change, The Wave of Change by Denise Byron. I always say her name wrong. I think that's the correct way to say it. Let me get the pattern for you so you could see it. Denise is such a beautiful woman. Absolutely beautiful. I was lucky enough to take a class with her last year for Vogue Virtual Knitting. And it's the Wave of Change pullover right there. And that's Denise. So it's Bayron handmade. Let me see. There's a better picture with like lighter colors. That's the sweater. It's a pullover, and for it being only my second sweater, I mean, I've made baby cardigans, but usually crocheted. I think I've knit one or two baby cardigans a couple of years back. Other than that, the first sweater I made was a baby sweater that was supposed to be for my boyfriend's niece, and it just was way too small. I didn't realize she was as big as she was, or I just did it wrong. And I went too small because I think I went for a TT and I wound up with a like 12-month. So that was wrong. So anyhow, Denise, this sweater is a pullover, like I said. Denise has like really cool sizing. Let me bring up the sizing for you. It's size 1 through 7. And I made my mother the number 2, which is a 40-inch bust. And it really did come out true to size. I used the exact needle she told me, which was, where are the needles? A US 10, because it's done on a bulky or chunky. It's done on a bulky. She did it on Prima Cotton, which is a bulky weight. And she says you could use any bulky or chunky weight yarn, or 2 DK weights will make what that needs to be. I did use Red Heart Soft Essentials, I believe it was, in mint. And I think it came out beautiful. My mother loved it, and I think it fit her perfectly. Whoops, I just hit it off. That's my mommy. She hates her picture on social media, so I chop her head off when I put it on Instagram and Facebook. Because I want to show off the product, but I don't want to show her. I want to respect. But she'll never know if she's on YouTube. So yeah, that was the sweater. That's how it came out. And I think it came out beautiful and it fit her. There's like one mistake where I think I dropped a stitch and then I picked it up, but I didn't notice it until later that it was kind of crooked and off. So I probably twisted it and somehow. But other than that, I think I did pretty well. There's one sleeve, and I don't know if you could see it because I'm going to point it out. Maybe it was in the back. Like right here. Oops. Come on, come back. Right here where the sleeves are put together, in the back, I kind of, when, whatever you do there, when you increase, decrease, whatever I did there, there's like too much of a hole. I was hoping I would have enough yarn like from the neckline so I can go down and stitch it up a little and cover it, but I think I forgot to do it. So, but I think it looks nice on her. She really, really loves it and she's happy with it. So that is my finished object. I have one other finished object, but I can't show you until next. The next thing I'm going to talk about is I did take a Vogue class, February 12th through the 14th. I think it was the 14th when it ended, was Vogue Knitting Virtual again. And I was in a much better headspace than I was last October when I was not in a headspace and I really shouldn't have taken any classes. So the classes I took last time kind of went, I couldn't get it. And I did try and do a brioche class back then and it just couldn't get it because I just wasn't doing it right. I wasn't in the headspace. But this time I took a lecture with Carol Sulkowski, Sulkoski, and it was decoding self-striping yarn, all you need to know about knitting and designing with self-stripers. It was a really interesting lecture. It was from 12:30 to 1:30, so it was an hour long, and she went through different self-striping yarns and where, like, what to look for if you're making socks and you look at this one self-striping, you're going to get really thick stripes. And if you go with something with, the color changes closer, you're going to get thinner stripes. So it was really interesting, like watching it and learning the different self-striping and how it would work. So that was a really good lecture to do. I would definitely recommend it for anyone who likes using self-striping yarn to understand it more. I certainly love learning things as long as I'm in the headspace, which this time I was. The second class I took was really, really interesting. It was with Shayna Billow, and it was on February 12th, and it was from 7 p.m. till 9 p.m., which was perfect for me because it's a Friday and I end work like around 4 o'clock. I get done with work, I was able to relax, I was able to get stuff together, have dinner, and then be just comfort in my office, doing my thing. And the boyfriend and the cats were outside, so it was nice. And this was perfectly picked up stitches. I printed out. I always, when I take classes, I print out anything I possibly can. And on here was the homework of what she wanted you to start out with. And it was nice. It was picked up edges. So if you're doing buttonholes or what's it called? The lapel. Like the lapel on a sweater, a cardigan or something, or if you have to pick up stitches for a collar, or if you have to pick up stitches for the ribbing of the bottom of the sweater or whatever. So she had us do a piece that looked like this, which would have been, you know, the arm here to pick up stitches for a sleeve, and then here where you'd be picking up stitches for a lapel, and then here would be your, so it was like a perfect little garment. So she taught how to pick up stitches correctly, so that way you would pick them up and it would be pretty seamless. She showed us different ways, and what was really cool is when you look on the inside, there's almost like a little seam right here, which is kind of cool. I just really enjoyed it, and I think the class was interesting in how to do it. And if you're going like along this edge, of course there's stepping down and all because you're coming up this way and then you have to jog a little to, you know, because it's not straight. And she showed you how to pick that up and how many stitches to kind of like skip to come up with the perfect equation. And she gave us like the equation she would use, which I'm not going to show because that's her equation and that's part of the class, but she definitely said like how many stitches per inch she would do for a DK, a worsted, or a chunky. And then she did like a little graph where she shows where like the middle of the stitches that you would pick up. So it was really, really good class, and I enjoyed it. And I'm going to keep my little swatch so I could kind of, you know, look at it from time to time and see what I did in the class. And what I normally do is I'll take, if there's a swatch, I'll take the instructions and then I'll just paper clip. I have little kitty cat paper clips. So I'll paper clip it to it, and then I have a file cabinet over here that I put patterns and stuff that I print in there, and I put anything that I take, any classes from Vogue or wherever, and I put them in there. The next class I took actually is one of my finished objects. It was circular brioche with 2 colors with Amy Detjen, Detjen. Sure, I said that wrong. I'm really bad with names. You all should know by now if you know me. It's 2-color brioche, and I love this yarn in a solid and in a variegated. And I did something wrong because it's just really split here. It like brioche, I always figure it should, like everything I've seen, it's always been like tight. So I don't know what I did wrong with this. Maybe it's just the way I hung it. But yeah, I did a cowl. I definitely did some mistakes. Like somehow right there, this should be the yarn in here, not going over that. So I'm sure I dropped a stitch right there. I dropped stitches and I don't know what I did. But all in all, I think it came out nice. And even the other side, I don't mind. I mean, right there, you can see where I made the mistake. This is definitely a long cowl. It's caught on my hair. So it's definitely a long cowl. I have a big fat head. So if I had a skinnier head, this could definitely go around. She had us do for homework. cast on 112 stitches. And I did. But like I said, somehow, oh, you know what I did wrong? I know what I did wrong. Oh, this smells so good. I used Tide, and then I used Downy. But I used the I think it's called Downy Infusion. They're little pellet things, and it smells like lavender. It smells really good. Sorry, I'll just be smelling this. So anyhow, the 112 stitches should have been on a fingering weight yarn, but I knew since I was new to this, I wanted to use a worsted weight. If you used a worsted weight, you were only supposed to do a little swatch and then go back and forth. But since it was in circular, and I figured that's really the way I'd be using it, is circular. So I kind of stuck with that. So yeah, I'm kind of happy with it. Like I said, it's a short little cowl for me, but I like it. I think it's very, very pretty. I'm very happy that I learned the brioche. I think I could do it again. You know, the knit round, the purl round. But I think I would definitely have to do something for the cast on or the setup round again, because that I'm definitely not going to remember. And I was doing so good on my mom's sweater. And then when I took this class, I didn't want to forget the stitches. So what I did is I kept doing the stitches. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with this. And if it was done correctly with like the right yarn, I think this would have came out beautiful. But hey, it was the first time trying it, so I'm happy with it. So that was my virtual knitting. Let me show you what I bought myself. This I got in a craft fair, and I can't remember the girls' names, but they made all this jewelry. They made beautiful bracelet and everything, all out of wire, rings out of wire. Do I have the ring? I had the ring up here for the longest time. Oop, dropping things. But I can't seem to find it. I don't see it up there. But I got this from them, and I got a ring from them made out of wire. It was really beautiful. The stone was almost similar to this. And then I got myself on QVC. Excuse the fingers and the nails. My nails are, I painted them, but they're chipping off, and my fingers are so dry. They're like, cracking. But look, I got this ring off of QVC. Isn't that pretty? It's tanzanite, sterling silver, and I forget what else. Like a diamond type of thing. It's, you know, not real diamond. But I treated myself. Valentine's Day, I was online, and, well, I bought it for myself. So let's see what else. I've been working on my green granny, which is somewhere. I don't even know where I put it. It was right here. But I think I put it somewhere. I put it somewhere safe. Oh, here it is. I have a trash can under there, and it was behind the trash can. So I didn't do too much more on my granny, but it's definitely getting bigger. So it's definitely a bit bigger than it was. I think the last time I showed it to you, I was only up to this green, and I made it a little bit further. I've got only this much left of, and then I'm going to use this. And that's as big as I'm going to go with it. I don't think I'm going to do a third. I think I'm just going to do, that's it, you know. It's just going to be a small blanket. But I was working a little bit on that during some of my Zoom meetings and stuff. I watched TV and I was doing it for a while. So that's pretty much it. The Odyssey shawl I haven't touched at all. Because like I said, I was trying to get done with my mom's sweater. And then I had the Vogue knitting. And then between work and trying to do the resale, I didn't do as much knitting or crocheting as I wanted to. I did start, however, I had, and I know way back, I had showed you the tubes I had done. And this is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it could be Dog Star yarn. I think that's the yarn. It's so pretty. I love it. And I'm using, excuse me. So I'm doing little shorty socks. I did the little ribbing for the cuff. I just started doing casting on for the toe, and then I'll throw a heel in here and have little shorty socks. So hopefully, holding this up, I should have 1, 2, just enough maybe for 2 sets of shorty socks. I'm hoping. And I have Knit Picks Stroll. And the color, it's Superwash Merino 75 Nylon 25. The color is, I know not. I guess the color is 26406. Is it gonna focus? Let me put that down. I don't know. That's better. So, I don't know. I thought bringing out the little pops of blue that are in here would be a good idea, and I think I made the right choice. I love it. Love it, love it. So yeah, there's a pair of shorty socks I'm doing. And my stitch marker is from Corner of Craft, my little black cat. Love her stitch markers. I have some to show you later because I might have treated myself. And I have it in my Mrs. Brown's bag right here. And what I've been doing is I have did a little clean out, been trying to clean out, and I found this really old book I had, and it was Mary Beth's bill book, but I have not done bills in this in forever. So I kind of scratched it out, and then I just wrote Knit and Crochet in the mirror right there. I think it's such a cute book. And I put today's date because I started the sock, or yesterday's date I started the sock, and then I just put, you know, the cuff, I cast it on, did rows 1 and 2 in a knit, then I did a 2x2 rib for 10 rows, and then I cast off. And then the toe I cast on, or picked up stitches, which by the way was torture. Absolute torture. I don't know what I did on the toe, but I tortured myself. It took me an hour to pick up stitches. How long could it possibly pick up stitches? Took me forever. Not happy. So then I started writing, like row 1 I knit, 2, I did 5 rows and knit. So then after that I'm going to start the actual toe itself, like decreasing and all. But I wanted to make sure the socks were long enough. So where did I put? Did anyone see where I put? Oh, it's on my lap. The tube. So I'm going to make those socks. That'll be my next Zoom meetings, making my little socks. And that's really the only whips that I'm working on right now is the granny and the socks. I am going to be starting, and that's what I'll talk about next. I'm going to be starting another sweater for my mom. My girlfriend really liked the Ways of Change so much that she asked me to do it for to do one for her. Oh, and on here, of course, on there. Ugh. Let me see if I have it on here. I don't even know if I have. I don't have much on my tablet because my tablet I can use at home, but I cannot use my tablet out anywhere because I don't have it doesn't have like Wi-Fi and all. Well, it has Wi-Fi, but you can't. It doesn't have a phone. So that was the purpose of getting the tablet, so I can do like PayPal stuff at craft fairs through the phone and not worry about Wi-Fi. But I don't know what I was thinking. Obviously, I wasn't. Come on, open up. So, the tablet I use at home now for the patterns and stuff. And I was talking to my girlfriend, and I found, and I'm hoping we did it in Messenger and not text. But I have a feeling I did it in text. There's a blanket I really want. It's crocheted and it's a kitty cat, a black kitty cat, and I want a blue sky and I want a gray blanket. And his paws are over the blanket like this, looking over. So stinking cute. So she's really good at doing multicolor for blankets, and I am not. So basically, the exchange is I will do the sweater for her. She's got to find the yarn. I will pick out the yarn for the. We have to go together to the store one of these days. But when we go to the store, she'll pick out the sweater, and I will pick out. This tablet is ridiculous. I haven't done Messenger on it forever, so it's not working. So I'm not going to bother. But that's the gist of the blanket. I was going to try and show you the graph that I want. But so anyhow, she wants the sweater. So I said, well, you pick out the yarn. I'll pick out the yarn for the blanket. And, we'll go from there. So a nice exchange. I am going to start another blanket for my mother. And I think I showed it to you the last time. It is Joji Locatelli. And it is the All the Love sweater. I love that design in there. Now, this is definitely a little out of my comfort zone. I think it's a little bit more than what I'm used to doing, but I've done little eyelets before in other things, so I'm hoping that I won't get too lost. Like there's the little eyelets down the two sides. I'm hoping I don't get too lost with the sweater. I really want to do it. She did the sweater in either a bamboo or a cotton yarn. I forget what she used. Circular needles, material. Oh, she used a silk blend of yarn, 30% silk, 70 merino. So I figure it's very drapey and lightweight. So what I went with is, for my mom, wait, one of the yarns fell. For my mom, I want to do this Lion Brand True Boo, and it's lilac. Whoop. Focus. Nope, doesn't want to focus. But it is definitely a 3, and that's what she used on her sweater. So I figure with the bamboo, it's going to be, I think it's 100% rayon from bamboo. So I think it's going to have a nice drape to it. It's very silky soft. I think it's going to be a nice lightweight sweater for my mom. If I like it, only if I like it, I might do another in this pretty blue. And this is light blue. So that's what I plan on doing next. This is definitely going to take longer because the other one was a bulky weight and this is a 3. The flax sweater was a worsted weight. So this is definitely going to, I mean, the flax sweater was ridiculous. It took me almost a year, but I will get better and do it faster. So that is my plan. I got all the yarn to do the lilac for my mom. And what else am I going to do? That's it. That's all the new projects are going to start because I still have my list up there. I had crossed off the sweater making for my mom and I put on there the socks. The green blanket is on there. The Odyssey shawl is on there. The pink blanket I was making, I took off there because I'm going to just frog it. It was a rectangle granny and I just don't feel like doing it. I wasn't into it. If you've been watching me, I'm not a big blanket person. Well, I am a blanket person, but not making them. I get bored very easily. The rings have changed. What was the one? Briar Rose. I have the Knit Companion and I love this. I live with this. And I had it for so long and I just never really used it until finally one day I picked it up. I forget who was talking about it. The Briar Rose I did long ago. I know I have it on here somewhere. Briar Rose. This should be it. The Briar Rose is really nice because it's hooked on Sunshine. The Briar Rose. Oh, my fat fingers. Sorry. This, I think, was one of the Phoenix, Hooked by Sunshine, and the Briar Rose were probably 2 of the blankets that actually caught my attention, and I didn't really stop doing it. I was really into it because there were different stitches throughout. Come on, open up. Open. That's the Briar Rose. And what she does is she goes through each, she'll tell you all the colors Like she'll show you here and she'll give you all the colors she used. And then each step she goes on, she shows you, like, that was the first step. Now the one she's doing in the yellow is the second step. And then it goes on. And like, here's, I don't want to show you any of the pattern, but like, there's how she shows you what to do for the next ones. And this is like the whole way through. And there's 28 pages all together. Borders, everything. It's really cool because all the stitches have, like, this is where you should be. This is what it should look like. If it's a pattern stitch, she goes, this is how you would do it. There's always help, and there is a Facebook page for Hooked by Sunshine, and it's an excellent Facebook page. They go over everything. That was probably one of the only blankets I've really stuck with. This is another one, but I did this a few years back, and I just found it in one of my tubs. That blanket there. It was in the magazine. And I am up to like halfway through one of the wings. And I just have to find out where the stitches, like exactly where I am. Then I will be picking that up. Once the green one is done, this will be my next pink pickup. I did it in blue. I'll show you next podcast what that looks like. We're going on 37 minutes, so let me get moving and not have this an hour long. I actually did not only Vogue, but I did Yorkshire Yarn Fest, which I don't think I talked about last. I don't think I did. But I did a Yorkshire Yarn Fest. And it was really good. And I picked up a few things, and I picked up a few things in Vogue Knitting. And this is really, really cool. And the woman who sells this product is so much fun. Like, the group of people that were in there, and her and myself, I almost didn't want to get off to go to my class at Vogue Knitting because I was having so much fun. We were laughing, and she was like, maybe we'll set up a knit night, blah, blah, blah. But it was so much fun. Look, this is the knit kit, and it comes in different things. Now, this button, ready for this? This is your tape measure. And it's really long, and the button closes your tape measure. This is counting. You have 3 rows. In the side here, if I can get it. Oh, crap. I dropped it. In the side, say you're up to a cable on your knitting and you've got cable knitting, or you dropped a stitch. This is a little knitting needle, and it goes perfectly in a little spot right here. Then on this side, very handy for either knitters or crocheters, you've got a crochet, 2 different crochet hooks. So you drop a stitch, you have a little tiny crochet hook, or right there. So there's things with, crochet that maybe you need to pick up, or you're doing something, you need to hold a few stitches. Perfectly rounded. So that's the outside. Then you turn it around and look for all your knitting needles and your crochet hooks. It gives you the different sizes. So you open up the little thing, stick your knitting needles or whatever in it, and you have your little needle gauge. And the back, I don't know if you can see it right there, are the sizes. On the back, L, M, that's your crochet hooks. What? So, in here, you've got, I can't open it all the way, a little nook that holds a pair of scissors. And it comes with the scissors. It comes with a couple of, she gave me this little stitch marker with knit kit written on it. Then you get little tiny stitch markers. So I filled it with a couple of my other stitch markers. I think it mostly comes with like these little rings. But I started filling it with my stitch markers. So yeah, I mean, it's a little on the expensive side. It's a very hard plastic. Some of the women that were in the half an hour demo with her, actually have had theirs for years and years. I think they came out, I want to say in 2005, and they've had it for years. They've dropped it and everything else, and it just really lasts. So yeah, this is really cute, I think. It's a little paw print, it looks like, to me. And I love that everything is right here that you would need. I love the fact that the tools fit everywhere. So yeah, I don't sell the product, but I really am in love with the product. And this is what sits in with my socks right now. But if I go anywhere, this goes in the bag with me. Next thing I got was, I really treated myself. Hannah from the Corner of Craft had a store update. February. I'm so excited. I got stitch markers. Look, the little mushroom, and the birdie mitten. She hand beads all these. And what's really cute is, let me show you. I've got this box that I got really cheap in, I think it was AC Moore back in the day when AC Moore was around. And I keep all my notions and stuff in here together. And I've got, I had gotten some stitch markers in here. And what I do now is I keep all the ones I have from Corner of Craft. I've got the little crabby thing. I've got my bat. I've got, should use my other hand, a dolphin. Oops. I've got a moo cow. Love him. And I've got, because of the fittings, which are earrings, they're just earrings fittings, I got 2 elephants. So I can actually wear earrings. So you put the earrings in, which I love this idea. I mean, it's a little, you know, if the object is not made for you. All right, I can't put the earrings in. Oh, wait. I haven't worn earrings in a little bit. But just think about it. You have your earrings in. You need to mark a stitch. Take the earrings out and boop, right on there. So yeah, I've got more. I do have more than this, but they're on projects. I'm not sure what projects, but I have so many of them. They're on there. So yeah, I got some stitch markers. They go fast. Boy, did they go fast. and it's the corner of craft dot uk.co. She's got a YouTube channel. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. She knits, she crochets, she makes her, she dyes her own yarn, and she makes the beaded stitch markers. And when she says there's an update, literally, if it's 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning, you name it, I am up. A few minutes prior, I sign in. I make sure my PayPal is signed in, because the minute I want something, I have to jump on. I went on, I want to say it was the 27th. Yes, it was yesterday. The update was at 5 in the morning. I usually don't get up at 5 in the morning. I got up at 4:30, quarter to 5. I jumped on my computer. Of course, my computer was spinning and spinning and spinning and drove me crazy, and I was late getting on. So I missed all the pandas I wanted. But I got little sheep, and I have sheep somewhere. But I got little brown sheep or gold sheep, a moo cow head, and the gray cat that I wanted that I missed last time, and chickies. So her yarn is beautiful. Now this, and this, her yarn company is Chromatic Yarn. This is all the same colorway on different bases. This is Fungal Form. Everything she does, that is a dice from Dungeons and Dragons. She's very into it. Everything she does yarn wise is due to Dungeons and Dragons. It's based off of a character, a picture, whatever. So this is Fungal Form in the merino sock, which is 85 merino, 15 nylon, and you get 100 grams, 437 yards. It is beautiful. Then I have Fungal Form Sparkle Sock, 75 merino, 20 nylon, 5 luxe, 437 yards. Pretty. I love them. And this is Fungal Form. And I didn't even realize I was getting all the same colorway. I was clicking so fast through this. It was crazy. This is the Strapey Merino 4-ply. 100% superwash merino, 437 yards. I love this. I absolutely love it. I notice a lot of dyers are doing these stripey things in there lately. And I have another one of hers that is like this. But I love it. So this is all the same base. All the same colorway. Just the yarn is, different types of yarn take it differently, but I loved the color. I thought it was cool. Next one is Rock Gnome Merino Sock, 85 merino, 15 nylon, 437 yards. Isn't that pretty? Look at the pops of color in there. Yeah, I can't wait to do something with it. Don't know what. I buy yarn and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So yeah, I was happy I got hers. Now the other person that, I love their yarn that I never get to get because her stuff is out the minute it's up, is Amy Florence, which is Stranded Dye Works. You're going to hear a crinkle because I forgot to take it out of the plastic. Sorry. So I got 3 of hers. And this was February's update. Or January. I forget which. But I missed it this month. She's got this cat. This is a neighbor's cat, and she calls it Not My Cat. Well, the cat comes over all the time, and because I am the cat lady of Brick, New Jersey, I wanted that yarn, and every single update I wait to see if it's going to show, and I always miss it. But anyhow, this is her mohair silk. Is that not beautiful? Look at the colors in that. It is 72 kid mohair, 28 silk, lace weight, and the name is Damsel, 459 yards. Look, it's coming a little bit more red than it is. It's more like a deep red or burgundy. But it is beautiful and so soft. Don't know what I'm doing with it. I see it definitely because of the colors in here. Like, I see it with a gray. I really do. I think a gray would look beautiful with this. Never worked with mohair. But hey, one of these days I'll try. Next one is the BFL nylon, which is an 80/20 BFL nylon. It's called Paintbox Oak, and it's 400 yards. It's a fingering weight. Look at that green. That's pretty much the color right here. It is so pretty. But that is her stuff. There's her colorway. Yeah, so I got that yarn. Very happy. Like I said, she'll put a colorway up there, and she'll have a podcast like right before her yarn comes out, and excuse me, and it's gone. Like, it's gone in minutes if you don't remember to jump on there. And because she's based in the UK and so is Corner of Craft, it's really hard for me being in the US to jump on and get a good time. The next one I got, I believe it was a trio. It's Trilogy Yarn, MCNDK, and it's her Pride and Prejudice. Now, the note said this should be the third one, but I only thought I got one other, so I have to go hunting to find out where I put the other one. But look, these are like my colors. I hate pink and purple, but if you put it with the blues, I'm happy. But look at that. You've got so many colors in here. Beautiful yarn. And this is, if I could easily forgive his pride if he had not mortified mine. Yep. That's the colorway. So I am really happy with this. It's 80 merino, 10 cashmere, 10 nylon, 231 yards. It's a DK. It's absolutely beautiful. It's in my mouth. The mohair probably. So they are my new little exciting things that I purchased. So yeah, I've been good to myself. I deserve it. I work hard. And that's pretty much it. Life update. This past week I freaked myself out. Well, I didn't freak myself out. I have 4 cats that are inside. One of the outside cats last month must have gotten in an accident or in a fight, and she had a big gash on the side of her face, like right on her cheek. So we got her and we brought her to the vet. And $300 something later, she's an outside cat We feed her. We keep her in the shed with straw so she has somewhere warm to go and out of the elements. And so we took care of her, and she had to stay in case of rabies. And plus, it was really bad. It was abscessed and pussy and So we took her to the vet. They cleaned everything out. They gave her an antibiotic shot. Um, and they shaved her head and put a cone on her. So obviously we couldn't put her out. I had a small dog cage, which we felt wasn't big enough. So we bought a large dog cage with 4 indoor cats and a couple of outdoor cats. So we get a big cage. We're going to need it eventually again. So yeah, she's living in the front porch. She's still there. Her next appointment is on the 4th, so Thursday. She didn't have to get stitches, but it was a really big gaping hole because the abscess, they had to leave it open so it could come out. We had to do iodine wash. The second bout of antibiotic was actually liquid. She was so good at taking it was just a eyedropper, and I had to give her the medicine. She's so good with that. So she was a good kitty, and she did everything she was supposed to do, and she goes now to the vet, and hopefully the cone will come off and she'll be able to go outside with her uncles, her mother, and her brother and sister. So I'm sure she will be back in the house on and off because she is very comfortable in the cage. She doesn't want to come out half the time. She's got a bed in there, a litter box. She gets fed a couple times a day, and a scratching post. So she's a happy little kitty. She purrs the minute you pick her up. She's all black. She's so adorable. I can't show you a picture because, of course, it's on my phone. And that's what I record on. What else? So anyhow, with all these cats around, I'm working, and in front of me right here behind the camera is my work computer. Back on the wall over there, I hear scratching. I'm like, oh my God, it's in the wall. The scratching noise in the wall. It's a mouse. You know it's a mouse. We've had them before. We're about 2 houses away from a lake. We've had bad weather. It's been rainy, snowy, damp, and cold. So they come into houses. So I'm listening as I'm working to this mouse in my wall scratching at the sheetrock, freaking me out. I'm sure it's just a small little field mouse, but I don't deal with mice very well. I grew up in a house. Behind us was the woods. Behind that was a creek. We had mice in the house. I never could deal with mice. So, and yet I've had a hamster or a gerbil. I forget. I think both. So yeah, I heard that. I've heard things up in the attic. So the boyfriend the next day, not that day. No, that day, I'm sorry. I told him get home now. I shut the office door, went in the living room, called my boss and said I'm done. It was 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm done working. I can't go in there. I'm freaking out. There's a mouse. She laughed at me, told me she totally understood. She would have done the same thing. And so, yeah, I was done with work that day. I was not going back in the office. I put a towel in front of the door. The boyfriend comes in because we have the attic steps right here. You pull down for the attic and it's crawling. You crawl up there. He put a couple of mouse traps and everything up there. But the next day, I'm still hearing things up there. And finally, Friday, I had the pest control come, and he said none of the traps. Now, Daniel put 4 of those horrible traps that, click. That would have freaked me out if I actually heard that and then heard a mouse scream. And then he put a couple of the little sticky ones up there. which I can't imagine having a mouse on a sticky pad because they're still alive. I don't know. Like I said, they creep me out. So yeah, that was up in the attic, and ugh. Um, so that was my week. So he put other traps up there that are better traps that I'm not going to hear. And since he's been here, I haven't heard anything all weekend. And it's Sunday now afternoon at 2:30. Um, when he was up in the attic, he did see one of the residents. I'm like, he's not a resident. I don't allow him to live here. I don't want him to live here. So he laughed at me. They all laugh at me. So he put traps up there. And I joined the yearly thing with the pet control where they will, anytime I feel there's something going on up in the attic, they will take care of it. They threw mouse bait down in the crawl space. He did. He's coming back Monday, tomorrow, about, I think, 10, between 10 and 12, to check all the traps, put new ones. If he thinks there's still activity, check the baits under the crawl space. And he said with the yearly thing, they spray the outside, and everything they spray is pet friendly, so the outside cats are not harmed. Any dogs in the neighborhood, children, whatever, will not be harmed. It's fine. You shouldn't go near it for the first 5 minutes. So they will put stuff for fleas, ticks, because we have a lot of trees. Spiders, yay! Ants. Ants are really bad in this area. The water table is really high. Even the guy next door who did a pool years ago, he had a lot of problems with the water getting the pool in. So we get a lot of ants. So they'll spray for the ants, so we will not have ants anymore. We have these horrible, they're called, like, I think, camel crickets or something. They're big and long legs. They're not a spider, but they're not a cricket, and they do make noise, but they're these big, ugly brown bugs. And they don't walk, they hop. Like they jump. And they're in the shower, they're in the laundry room, anywhere dark and moist and wet. That's where they are. So with anywhere there's water. So we have them in the summer, and there's been times I've literally went into the shower and one of these are right there on the shower curtain, and I didn't see it because it was in the crease of the curtain, when I get in the shower. And like they're big. Some of them are really, really big. And I know I'm freaking out over this, but you're naked in the shower by yourself. That's your private time. That's not when a bug should be looking at you. You know what I mean? So anyhow, all those things will be taken care of. Thank God, because I just can't live with them. So yeah, that's my rant about bugs and mice and what Mary Beth can and cannot deal with. I want to say goodbye to you all right now because we've hit an hour and 3 minutes. I didn't want to go this long, but I actually had more to say than I thought I did. I had a lot more to show you than I thought I did. So yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful week coming up. If I don't talk to you by St. Patrick's Day, have a good St. Patrick's Day. I got the hiccups now. If I talk to you, I should talk to you before Easter, if you celebrate Easter. But yeah, have a wonderful week coming up, and I'll try and, get on here a little more often. I keep saying that, but I don't because life gets busy and, you can't help it. You would think I'd have more time to knit and crochet, but I don't. But I'll do my best to get something done so I can show you something. At least one of the socks. How hard can that be within like the next week or two? I think I am going to sign up for Vogue for March, which is the end of March. There is a class I wanted to take. And it's a class for crochet and designing sweaters. Not that I'm going to design a pattern. No way. Leave that to the designers, not me. But I would like to learn the deconstruction of a pattern and how people come up with the patterns, just so I can understand better, because I've never really crocheted a big sweater. And it's how to construct and make a pattern for like a 2-color sweater. So I would really like to take the class, understand how it's done and the ins and outs of it. So yeah, I think I might be doing that. Not positive, but I think that's what I might be doing. If I don't take that class, I'm probably not going to do anything in March. I'll skip it. Hopefully, there's something in April and I can take that. And that's about it. 5 after, I'm going to let you all go. And thank you so much for joining me. If you've been here the whole time, thank you for sticking through. And please come back and watch me again and subscribe. Click the little like and the little bell, and it'll notify you when I come back on and join you again. Thank you so much for everything, for joining me, for sticking with me, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.